If you're constantly posting out videos, but they never seem to get any views, it's not because you don't have any subscribers. It's simply because you're doing it the wrong way. So in this video, I'm going to give you the exact 8-step process that any channel of any size can use to start getting more views on all of your new videos, even if you have a channel with 0 subscribers. Now, before we hop into it, I'm really happy to announce that I've teamed up with Huel to bring you today's video, which is a brand I'm super excited to be working with. And all you guys can try Huel today with a 15% discount using code DAN15. Let's get into the actual video. So step 1 of this process is to think of a rough title idea. So if I was to create a new video on a channel with 0 subscribers, very first thing I always do in this video creation process is to think of a rough title idea first. Now, this title doesn't have to be the final one that you use and stick with, but it does need to be the one that you actually create your video around. Like, it will be the foundation everything is built on. Now, I'm going to guess that most of you guys will usually just create a video first and then quickly think of a title towards the end. And this is what I used to do as well when I was new, but trust me when I say this is one of the biggest things that's holding you back. But basically, by doing this step first, we can use the title as like an anchor point to make sure the rest of the video is carefully crafted around that one specific idea. Like, just write it down on a piece of paper, or do what I do and write it down in a Word document. Then step number 2, once you've written down the rough title idea, you need to determine the purpose of the actual video. Like, what's the reason behind it? Like, why that specific video, and what are you hoping to achieve with it? I usually break this down into 2 parts. Firstly, I determine the content value of the video, and secondly, I will determine who exactly I'm trying to target. But if this sounds a bit confusing, like, let me explain a little bit clearer, because these 2 steps are super important. So firstly, what is content value and how do you determine what it is? So content value is basically just the value that your video is going to give to your viewer, because the relationship between viewers and creators on YouTube is transactional, meaning viewers pay creators with their time and attention, and in return, creators give viewers some sort of value. So every single video you ever post must give the viewer some sort of value. Now, the 3 main types of value creators can give to viewers through their videos on YouTube are education, entertainment, or information. Now, for example, this video you're watching right now is educational because I'm teaching you something. But let's say a Mr. Beast video, for instance, is purely entertainment. Like, he's not trying to teach you anything or give you information. He's purely just trying to entertain you. Or on the other hand, let's say a video from CNN about the latest news story will almost always be information based. So you need to ask yourself, like, what kind of value are your videos providing? Are you teaching something? Are you being entertaining? Or are you just giving some sort of information? If your video idea doesn't provide any one of those types of value, throw it in the bin and start again, because I promise you it won't work. Then secondly, you need to figure out who you're trying to target. Doing so will help you make sure that as you go through the video creation process, it will always be designed with your ideal viewer in mind. Now, for me, this video's intended audience is small and new YouTubers who don't have many subscribers but want to get more views on their videos. But let's say someone like Mike Thurston, with this video in particular, he might be trying to target young men 18 to 30 years old who are looking to build muscle and get lean in the gym. So you need to figure out exactly who you're trying to target. Again, just write this down on either a piece of paper or in a Word document with your content value and your title idea. Doing these couple of steps first will give you the best foundation and clear path towards creating your actual video. I know it may seem like a lot of prep at first, but trust me, it will make your life so much easier when it comes to creating your video. Then step 3, what I need you to do is look at your competitors and find videos similar to the ones you want to create. This is important for 2 reasons. Firstly, by searching for videos similar to yours, you can get like an overall feel as to how much demand or popularity there is for that kind of video. And secondly, you can watch those successful videos for inspiration. So let's say someone else has already made a video quite similar to the one you have in mind. And let's say it already has like 300,000 views. If this is the case, you're going to want to watch that video and analyze all of the things that creator did well. Note them down and then infuse that information into your own video when you come to create it. Like, try to find at least 5 similar videos, watch them, analyze them, and just note down all of the best bits that you can take with you for your video going forward. And I would also recommend looking at their thumbnails too and start to think about how you want your own thumbnails to look like. Write down what's working, how have other people created theirs, look at what text or images they've used and all of that stuff. And just start to build out your thumbnail idea board. And then step 4 is to make the actual video. And you're going to use all of the prep you've done in the previous steps. Now look, there are billions of different ways you can make your own videos. So unfortunately, I can't give each of you specifics. But my advice during this step is to always make sure you're creating the video with your ideal viewer in mind. Make sure your video is based around the content value, and finally, just make sure you enjoy it, because this will be evident in your expressions and your on-camera energy. Your viewers will be able to tell whether or not you enjoy or you're passionate about the actual video. But here's the thing, look. This whole creative process takes a lot of time and a lot of brain energy. Sitting down, coming up with 10 different title variations, researching what works, shooting and then editing the actual video. It's not quick and it's definitely not easy. Usually the editing process alone takes me a full day. And honestly, one of the biggest productivity traps I used to fall into was breaking my momentum every time I had to stop and make some food. And most of the time, I would either just grab something really unhealthy or just skip the meal altogether. And then I'd wonder why my focus and energy would always crash midday. So now, whenever I'm in one of those deep work sessions like scripting, filming, or editing for hours and hours on end, I've started using Huel Black Edition. Now this is a complete meal that I can make and consume in under a minute. And when I do use the Huel Black Edition, I am far less tired during these sessions because it contains things like vitamin B12, which helps reduce things like tiredness and fatigue. And it's really as simple as this. I grab my shaker, I add water first, and then I add anywhere between 1 to 2 scoops of this Huel Black Edition powder in here, whack the top back on again, give it a shake it up, and that's it. It's ready. So I can literally sit here and drink this while I'm doing my filming, my editing, or anything without getting distracted. Now, this is super quick, it's really clean, and it's got everything I need. It's got protein, fiber, healthy carbs, vitamins, omega-3s, all of the stuff that stops me crashing and burning out 2 hours later. And it's not just convenient, it's affordable too. A full Huel meal comes to just $2.65, which is way cheaper than what I used to spend on things like takeout meals or snacks. Now, my personal favorite flavor from their range right now is the salted caramel, but they've got a ton of different flavors to choose from. I highly recommend giving Huel's new Black Edition powder a go. Now, if you do want to try, scan the QR code on screen or just head down to the link in the description below and use my code DAN15 for 15% off your first order. Thanks again to Huel for sponsoring this video. Okay, so next step number 5 is to design your titles and thumbnails. So once you've shot and edited your video, it's time to sell it. And your titles and thumbnails are your sales team. Without a good packaging, no one will click. And if no one clicks, no one watches. It doesn't matter how good your video is. Now, the very first thing I want you to do is go back to your original rough title idea and then use this to brainstorm at least 10 new different title variations. Again, just write them down in a Word document or on a piece of paper. Now, when I write out potential titles, I always ask myself these 3 specific questions. Number 1, would I click on this video myself? Number 2, does it spark curiosity or emotion? And number 3, could I make it any more specific or urgent? Here's an example. Let's say my rough title idea for this video was how to get views with 0 subscribers. Now watch as this evolves over time as I add more variations. We've got how to get views on YouTube with 0 subscribers, no subscribers, do this to get views, the secret to getting views with 0 subscribers, this got me 10,000 views without any subscribers. And all of the rest you see here, so I hope this makes sense. Because all of these are just variations of the initial title idea I had in mind. But doing it this way means I'm tapping into my creativity. And trust me, the more you do this, the more creative and better your titles will become. Then for the thumbnail, follow this simple rule. Look, the title and thumbnail should work together. They should not say the same thing. If your title is detailed and specific, your thumbnail should tease it visually or emotionally. Think of your thumbnail like a movie poster. It should be used to grab attention, but it should not be used to explain stuff. So some quick thumbnail tips here would be use 1 to 4 words max, no more than that. Use a close-up facial expression if you're on camera in the video. Highlight results or show a before or after. Try bold, legible fonts and high contrast imagery. And then ask yourself would this thumbnail actually stand out on YouTube's homepage? And that's a simple process I go through from a rough title idea to a fully dialed in packaging ready to go that's actually going to get me clicks on all my videos. So then, step 6, optimize your video. This then brings us on to the next step, which is once you've completed the video itself and you've got your titles and thumbnails ready to go, the next thing you're going to do is obviously hit the upload button and start uploading it. Now, once you're in the middle of uploading the video, you'll be brought to this screen here. This is the upload process, and it's where YouTube allows you to optimize your video accordingly, which is the next super important step. And the official name for this is SEO. Now on YouTube, SEO just revolves around using the right keywords in the right places. And we want to include as many of these keywords as possible in the right areas. Now, you need to place these keywords strategically when you go through this upload process. And there are 11 or so different places for keywords. We've got channel tags, channel descriptions, titles, thumbnails, video file name, description, hashtags, tags, chapter titles, and so many more. And you're going to need to make sure you have keywords related to your content in all of these places. But look, I'm not going to run through all of them now as I have a whole dedicated video on SEO. So if you want to learn how to properly include SEO to maximize your views, then you can watch that video after this. I'll leave a tag or a link in the description below. All right, so step number 7. Once you've uploaded your video and you've optimized it, it's now live and you're going to start seeing some views come in. At this point, the algorithm will start testing your video with small groups of people to see how it performs. But what we can actually do is we can give the algorithm a bit of a boost during this little test phase. And we can do this by doing 2 simple things. Firstly, I want you to send your new video out to all of your family and friends within the first couple of hours. And I want you to get them to watch it. Now, the most important thing here is to make sure that if they do decide to click on the link and watch a video, they need to watch at least 75% of it. What you absolutely do not want them to do is click on your video, give it a thumbs up, and then click off after a minute or so. If they do this, it will tank your average view duration and the algorithm will assume that people aren't interested in it and therefore it will stop pushing it out. So it's super important that if you do ever get your family and friends to watch your new videos, please make sure they watch all of it before they click off. And then the next thing we can do to give it a bit of a push is to go out and engage with other creators in your niche. Like go onto competitor videos or go on your friends' channels and engage with their content. And like get involved in conversations within the comment sections. This way, it shows the algorithm that your account is actively engaging within the YouTube community. And like you'll also build up engagement with other viewers and creators, which will ultimately give your channel much more exposure. And then finally, step number 8, the last thing I would do to maximize views is to clip up the new video into multiple different shorts. This way, you're creating even more content without actually doing any extra work. Like you're just getting more reach from the content you've already made. Now, I would suggest using a tool like Nexus Clips to turn long form videos into shorts and post them all out as soon as possible after uploading the main video. Now again, I would love to thank Huel for sponsoring this video. If you want to give it a try, scan the QR code on screen or just head to the link in the description and use my code DAN15 for 15% off your first order. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one. Goodbye.